Greetings, my fellow warriors, your boy Meckanimal, and at the request of many of my fellow warriors, I'm going to teach you guys today how to start movement. What's movement? To me, movement is just moving. So unlike many movement guru out there that make it sound like it's more complicated than it seems, you just have to move, and it will come with practice. It's a skill that can and should be developed as a human being to enhance our awareness of the body and to help the brain wire the connections in a way that strength training and conventional flexibility training would not achieve. So it's just movement, Movement is movement. And then I'm by no means a guru, an expert, but I've been doing that long enough to be well versed and efficient at it. I've been focusing on it for the past 3-4 years and been doing altogether for about 7 years. So it's safe to assume that I'm in the right place to teach anybody how to move. So I'm gonna teach you guys 4 basic movements, 2 being lower body dominant and the 2 other being upper body dominant. And even though it's upper body dominant, you will still be using legs to a certain extent. So the 2 lower body dominant will be some bipedal movement, and the 2 upper body dominant movement will be some quadrupedal movement. Alright, so let's start with the quadrupedal movements. The 2 quadrupedal movements that I'm going to teach you guys are going to be the lizard walk and the bell walk, which are probably the most popular movement that each of you must have come across over the past years. And we're going to start with the lizard walk. That's much more complex than the bell walk, where you reach the floor. Quadrupedal, meaning you're going to be using the 4 limbs, okay? And start with the plank with the feet spread apart. And to initiate the movement, you bring your elbows, your knees to your elbow, and then you go down on the push-up and back up. Within the transition, you move the other knee to the elbow and come down in a push-up. And so on, you're going to be following the path forward. So some people may call it Superman push-up, but this is the basic version of the lizard walk. In a different video, I'm going to show you guys a much more complex version of the lizard walk, where you stay in one plane as low as possible to the floor, and you involve external rotation of the hips and the shoulder throughout the movement. Much more complex and requiring more coordination and awareness. But for now, all you need to do is stick to the basic movement of the lizard walk. The second one, the most popular one, is the bear walk. Everybody does the bear walk. So you hinge forward as you're going in RDL, remaining deadlift. Keep your leg as straight as possible, slat bent if you have tight hamstring, and reach for the floor. Again, another quadrupedal movement. Same thing, bring your toe to your wrist, toe to wrist, toe to wrist, toe to wrist, and you shift yourself in a flowing manner. You could go backward as well. Feel free to do so, but I'll focus much more on the forward movement, and then in time you can mix it up and try to work on the reverse of that movement. As you may have seen, for the lizard, I stayed away from doing it because I don't want to make a fool of myself. Sometimes I get confused. I don't have enough coordination for the lizard walk when I go backwards, so I stayed away from it. So I would suggest you guys to just focus on the front part. The 2 other movements, the bipedal, will be the horse walk and the ostrich walk. I probably taught you guys the ostrich walk to be used for flexibility of the hamstring and workout as well of the hamstring in a different video. But today I'm going to reintroduce it again for the newcomers, those who have not been aware of it. So we're gonna start with a horse walk, which will be starting in the straight stance. You go about 4, step out, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And from that position, I would like you to squat down as low as possible and external rotating your elbow, meaning driving your knees, your hips, meaning driving your hips outward. And from that position, retraction of the shoulder blade, and then walk forward, right there. Backward as well, it can be done. So just a foot ahead in that stance. So it's pretty much a wide stance squat, a moving wide stance squat that you call a horse walk. And it can be used as well to strengthen your adductors for those who are working toward mastering the split. So those are all kind of combinations you can use to hit, your goal, and it's interchangeable. The next exercise, the next movement, which will be the ostrich walk, is to be performed as such. You start standing forward, legs together, and from that position, I want you to slightly bend, so 45 degrees right here, and snap to the floor and get up. And then, one step forward, snap to the floor. Forward, snap to the floor. The goal is to reach the floor with your palm and touch the palm completely flat on the ground while maintaining your hamstring extended. So it will be snap, 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 snap. So be careful, you don't want to pull your hamstring. So for the beginner, for those who have tight hamstring, be careful, don't push it too much. Just take time to slowly adapt to it. So you can keep your knees slightly bent and just use your toes, your fingers, the point of your fingers to touch the floor. You don't have to go all the way flat on the floor with your palm. So it will be something like this, until slowly you have the full flexibility to be able to reach the floor and keep your hands, your knees locked out. So backward will be something similar. Tap, 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 tap. And there goes the ostrich walk for you. So let's recap. We have the lizard walk, we have the bear walk, we have the donkey walk, the horse walk, and the ostrich walk. Lizard, bear, horse, and ostrich. So those are the 4 movements that I feel you can start with. Pretty simple, and feel free to mix them up together and come up with something creative, because at the end of the day, each of you guys, we have your special signature of movement. That's what's so unique about it, because moving is just moving, man. Do whatever the heck you want to do. So you learn basic stuff, and then over time you come up with some complex combination. That's it. That's what I've done, to say the least. Some other guru have methodology about it. For me, moving, just moving. So to each his own. Feel free to follow my ways, or find yourself a guru and become a movement specialist. I'm no specialist. I'm just a mover, human being who aspires to do whatever it feels like doing, just like to move. So that's it. Enough rambling, and yeah, hopefully my video was useful to you guys, and feel free to comment below what kind of movements you would like to learn in the future. I will be making videos about specific movements in the future, where I can break down those movements that tend to be more complex than the usual. And yes, we're gonna create a series that hopefully will help the world move better. That's it, man. Everything is, and we always be smooth, the Meckanimal way. Thank you guys for your support. Ja! Ja! Peace.